Hi, everybody, and welcome to tonight's lounge. How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody on this Friday night, the weather is finally breaking, finally getting hotter. I was hoping for some weather where it went from really cold to not having to use air conditioning and heating like right back to back. Like I wanted some time with like the windows open, you know what I mean? So now I'm like sweating and I've been trying not to put the air on, but I kind of have to. So, as you will notice, if you've been to the lounge many times, if you're a loyal listener, you'll notice I have a brand new microphone. Yes, we're up leveling the lounge with some awesome audio. So, I'm very excited about it. I want you guys to hear me loud and clear. I hope it's coming through loud and clear. Let me know how it's sounding. I'm very excited about the new microphone. Really excited about it. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Hi, Lori. Good to see you bright and early on this Friday. Well, it's 9 o'clock, but to me, it's bright and early because you're always here early. So, thank you, Lori. Thank you for being such a supporter. Eileen, good to see you also. Thanks so much for coming on. Good to see everybody. I'm so excited about tonight's show. Paul is trying to keep the air off too. That's good. I know. I just don't like having like the air on and the heat on. It's like I need some time without any of that stuff. You know what I mean? Are you guys feeling the Mercury retrograde? I know I talk about it quite often, but if you are feeling like, oh my God, everything is just feeling so like up in the air, emotional, intense. We had that new moon, and now we have the retrograde. And this retrograde, I don't know about any of you. We have another psychic medium coming on tonight, so I'm going to talk to her about this. But it feels different than other retrogrades, meaning like usually when a retrograde starts and it like, you know, the 3 days before the retrograde is kind of like the craziest days, and then once it starts. And I talked about this in the monthly energy forecast. Luckily, the next monthly energy forecast that I'm putting out, which I go over every day of the month, all the key dates to make your decisions for, you know, relationships, career, all your big decisions, all the energies, the world energies, the personal energies, goes out on the 15th of every month. So if you're not on my email list, this is a private broadcast. This is not public. You cannot find it on YouTube. You cannot find it online. You have to be on my email list. It is exclusive to people who are supportive of the show and who are supportive of the list. So you can go on Facebook and YouTube in the description of this video. You can get on my email list. It's free. And then you get this awesome monthly video energy forecast on the 15th of every month, which is in 2 days. Dos dias. 2 days. So I know last month I was just looking at my notes because I handwrite them all out. It said the 13th, 14th, and 15th of this month, pretty much just forget about it. And I look back on it and I'm like, oh my God, I need to have a calendar where I can like reference what I wrote about, because I like go back to my writing and I'm like, yeah, it's just like, you know, just throw the towel in, read a magazine, watch a movie, you're shot. And it's pretty much it. Like everything's being moved around, shuffled, canceled. You know how the retrograde goes. So if you know that this is going to be happening, you could take a deep breath and say to yourself, we're going to, like Milli Vanilli back in the 80s or 90s, maybe early 90s, said, blame it on the rain. You just blame it on the grade. And I know that's like a real cheesy thing to say, but it's true. But then after the retrograde is finished, you can't blame it on the grade anymore. So if you need to blame anything on anyone else, blame it on the grade. That's what I'm saying. Next couple of weeks till June 2nd. Okay, but then you got to let it pan out a little bit, let it recede. Let's just say hi to a couple other people. Mary O'Neill, good to see you. Tim, how are you? Good to see you too. Thank you about the mic. I'm very excited. It's my new toy, but it's got to be mounted different. But it's very exciting. I get excited. I don't know if you guys don't know this about me, but I get excited about tech stuff. Like I'm a woman that likes tech. Even though I'm a medium, you think like I'd like, you know, spiritual books and things about angels and stuff. But no, I get off on new microphones and audio and tech stuff. So thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. I can't wait to have you guys experience the show tonight. I'm very excited about it. Obviously, if you a lot of you guys are our loyal listener fan base. So we have Jacob Cole and Mark Woodiat back again to just prime that Mercury retrograde energy. If we're not feeling too good today, which I'm not feeling too great, I'm sure you guys aren't feeling too great, although I could fool you into thinking I'm feeling great, right? Because I'm the one entertaining you. I have to like feel good. So Jacob is going to come on with his handpan. He's going to get the energy moving, and Mark's there. And last time they were in separate locations, so they played separately. Tonight they'll be playing together, which is, some of my favorite. Watching them play together is just amazing. So I always like to start the show with some like high vibration. Get the energy moving. Just turned off that other crappy intro music that's part of the stream that we get like as a placebo here. So we're going to bring on Jacob and Mark. You guys are obviously uh very familiar with them, and if you're new, well, you're in for a treat. So I'm going to bring them on right now. Jacob Cole and Mark Woodyat. Hi guys.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
Very good. Little hot up here in the attic, but
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
yeah,
sure.
it's a welcome
I'm
change.
glistening.
You're yeah, you've got the shirt unbuttoned right up there on the top there. Looking good.
Thanks. I feel like Tom Jones after a sauna.
Yeah, you look like you're about ready to jump in the lake, sweating, you know? So how you guys doing? You guys good?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
doing
man.
good. We haven't seen each other in a month or so. It's
Awesome.
good to be back together.
I know. And so are you guys doing the Insight Timer thing this
Yeah, I
Sunday?
always try and schedule the Sunday after this. Yeah, we're doing this Sunday 8:15 to 10:15 on Insight Timer under Jacob
Okay.
Cole.
Okay, once you guys start playing, I'm going to put a little banner together for that because I wasn't sure. So you are doing Insight Timer. If you guys know the app Insight Timer, you guys could just go on there, and you guys are on Sundays. Usually after you go on the lounge, you schedule it for Sundays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you
Yeah,
just
this
look
Sunday
for
will
Jacob
be
Cole.
8:15. Yep.
8:15. I'll put a little banner up when you guys are playing.
All right.
And I'm excited. So what are you guys going to play for us to get this crazy? Are you guys feeling the Mercury retrograde energy? Are you guys getting frustrated?
It's
It's
been it's
it's
been
it's
pretty
been a little
crazy.
rocky, right?
It's been pretty crazy. Yeah.
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 So what kind of stuff on your handpan could you play to kind of move this rocky energy and kind of give us a little bit of smooth sailing because we're all feeling kind of weird?
Well, we're gonna start with a track off my album Hope called "Her Majesty," which is a tribute to the Earth.
Wonderful. All right, I'm going to
Yeah.
put you in the
Awesome.
spotlight here. I'm going to get myself out of the spotlight. I'm going to mute myself, and then I'm going to change the little banners here so you guys could. It's going to go back to jazz violinist Mark, and then back to Jacob, and then back to Mark. So I'll do it evenly so you guys don't feel like I'm playing favorites. All right, we'll go
That's
back
all
and
right.
forth. So we're going to start with you because you're starting off. So I'm going to put myself on mute. And what's the title of the first song that you're playing?
It's actually two songs that go into each other. It's His Majesty, and then it goes into Her Majesty.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to mute. You guys can go ahead.
All right, thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you guys.
Thank
That
you. That
was
was the
awesome.
short. That was a shortened version of it. Believe it
Yeah,
or not.
that was a long shortened version. You guys did a
Yeah.
great job. So I put a little banner here. You're going to be on Insight Timer on the app. It's a free app. You guys can download it. It's for meditations. And you guys will be on there live 8:15 Eastern Standard Time Sunday.
This Sunday. Yeah.
Awesome. And all they have to do when they go on the app is search for you guys.
Yeah, I think now they make you have to log in, so you have to create an account now.
Okay.
Before, so if you're interested in seeing us for free, make sure you create an account beforehand. It's free app, Insight Timer.
Yeah, and you could do all sorts of meditations on there for free. And plus your
Yeah,
kids, if you want to put your kids to bed, great
it's
meditations.
a great app. I'm happy to be a part of it.
Awesome. And you guys could get your album if they're interested at jacobcolepercussion.com with you guys on it, right? There it is. Hope.
Yeah, that's it. Mark is on most of the tracks. We just played Her Majesty off of it, so it's a
Yeah.
double disc 24 track handpan album that I think you guys will enjoy.
And it's on CD. It's still on CD with like artwork and an
Yeah,
album. Like, that's
I
awesome.
have about 30 copies left, and then that's it. It's digital too. You could get it on iTunes and stuff, but there is about
No,
30 hard copies left.
put aside a copy for me. I'm buying that. I don't want it. I want that.
Yeah.
I will, because I don't know if I'm gonna get any more made. So these 30
Yeah.
might be it.
Okay. Well,
I'll save one for you.
yeah. And if you guys,
Save one
in the
for me,
lounge,
too.
you guys,
Okay.
look at Henry Blake. He's on here saying, love this music. Great. Everybody's
Thank you.
saying they love it. Deborah loves it. Awesome. All right. Well, I'll let you guys take a break and then we're going to bring on our psychic medium who actually has a book about intuitive kids right now. So we will see you guys for the next song very soon.
All right,
Thanks.
thanks.
Awesome. Are you guys ready for our lovely guest of the evening? Let me give her a little bit of an intro. Michelle Henderson, Masters of Education, worked in education as a teacher, educational diagnostician, and behavior analyst for 30 years. In 2021, Michelle became a certified spiritual advisor with psychic and medium certificates through Lisa Williams International School of Spiritual Development. Awesome. I wonder if she studied in the UK. With the knowledge she obtained through her life work with children, she became passionate about helping intuitive children embrace their gifts. Michelle also shares her innovative ideas with other light workers, giving them direction about supporting families of intuitive children. I have I have an intuitive children, like as if my one child splits herself up into three. Well, she can, you know what I mean? But yeah, there's one. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in hearing what she has to say. Michelle also shares her innovative ideas with other light workers, giving them direction. I probably just read this already about supporting families of intuitive children. Her book, Spiritual Nurturing for Intuitive Children, training parents to embrace and enhance their psychic child's abilities, was published on January 5th, 2022. Let's give a warm welcome in the lounge to psychic medium Michelle Henderson. Hi,
Hello,
Michelle.
everybody. Hi.
How are you?
I am doing fine. And yes, I have been affected. I couldn't sleep last night. I've been working in the school district and all my paperwork is not working. I've had to edit quite a bit, and wine is good.
Wine is good. Yeah, but see, I can't drink anymore because it just like pulls the portal. I mean, it's just like, woo,
Oh,
I have
right.
no idea. So hopefully
Right.
it doesn't put you too far out there into the cosmos when you're when you're having that wine.
No, we're not saying that at all.
So you studied under Lisa Williams. Was this like
Yes.
in the UK or in the United States?
In the United States, I actually tried to go to the Arthur Finley College in the UK.
Yeah.
But a month before I left, I had my suitcase ready to go. I had my airplane tickets, and then COVID happened.
Oh my
Everything shut
goodness.
down.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so Lisa Williams actually had a 9-month program
Mm.
online, and I
I
signed
see.
up for it. Yes.
I
Yes.
see. So you
Yeah.
guys got to connect via Zoom and that kind of thing.
There were 30 of us, and we just bonded. You know, when you find
Yes.
your peeps, that's what I
Yes.
did.
You
Yes,
found your
absolutely.
peeps.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, it's so great to have you.
Well,
And
thank you.
you have written this book about intuitive children. Is there any way as parents we can figure out how would parents just watching this show know when they should spot something and say, hey, I need to really encourage this. I need to nurture this. What are some signs that kids are intuitive, according to your book?
Oh my goodness, and I'll kind of condense it down. But the first thing is a lot of times they can't sleep because when spirit comes into the room, spirit wants to play or talk to them and have a conversation with them. So a lot of times they're not sleeping and they can feel the energy in the room. And if you see this as a parent and they start talking about, an imaginary friend that they are talking to, have that conversation. Say, can you tell me more about it? And don't be afraid of it. Embrace it and say, tell me more. How can we really help you, embrace your intuitive side? Because a lot of times when they're little, it's just a part of them.
Yeah, and a lot of parents sometimes, just stuff I've heard through the grapevine, if a kid says they have an imaginary friend or they see something, they're afraid of something, like, oh no, that's nothing, or
Yes.
they might even say, oh, I saw grandma who passed away just come into my room and when I was sleeping and say hi. And, you know, it's like not encouraged sometimes.
Right.
So I think
Right.
sometimes we need to know that when we're dealing with a highly sensitive child, they often display some other characteristics, sometimes anxiety, sometimes they could be
That's true.
sensitive to other children or, feeling energy. I know for
Hmm.
my daughter is mostly like, and doing this, been doing this full time for almost 25 years, full time. So
Wow.
when I had her, I was like, I just want her to be a normal kid. I don't want her running around having to protect her energy, having to be drained by because it's a very draining job. You know what I mean? But it's
Right. Right.
fulfilling.
Right.
But I was like, I just want her to be normal, And so like most of the
Hmm.
time she's a kid, but then she'll
Famous
have
last words.
most of the time, right? And then there's times where there's a change that comes over her face. She turns into this like 70-year-old Italian lady and she's just like, says something and that it's coming from a source of wisdom and then she goes back to being a kid and I'm like, okay, where'd that come from? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely, and I love that, she is so lucky to have you understanding the psychic medium world,
Yeah.
so she is so lucky, and I was not as fortunate. My parents were afraid of it because, we're programmed, to be afraid of it, especially in the South, and I grew up in Texas, right along
Mhm.
the Bible Belt.
Yes.
Yes, yes. So it's like, yes, it's your imagination. Let's shut it down. Do not open that door.
Mhm.
And so, and and it's a great thing, and it's a very interesting to hear though that you were saying, well, I want her to be a normal child.
Mhm.
But that's her authentic self. That is definitely her.
Yeah, I would get excited because there would be like people be like, "Oh, does your child does everybody asks me like, does she?" I'm like, "No, she's just regular." And then one day, just like we're in the back of the car and she pulls out something and I'm like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
There it is.
Yes. So is
And
she afraid of it at all, or did she
no,
like just know exactly what was going on and was able to know exactly what to do and be in control of it?
I don't know how she does, but
Okay.
it's not like with me when I was a kid and I didn't have that support either because I was adopted. So
Oh,
my family was, like, very religious, and they'd be like, "Oh, we need to take you to the priest because this is I don't know what I would just tell them, "I don't like your friend." I'd be, like, if 7 years old, be like, "I don't like that person you're hanging out." They're like, "Why? They're so nice." I'm like, I don't like."
yeah.
And, you know, I was lucky enough to meet my biological relatives when I was 26, and it ran on both sides of the family.
Wow.
So I was
Right.
lucky enough to, like,
Right.
talk to them about it, and I had grandparents again in my 30s because I had lost my grandpa and they
Good.
were like, "Oh, yeah." There were a lot of the same visions and stuff like that. So, it was just nice to actually feel validated
Yes.
in
Yes.
knowing that I wasn't, but by this point, I was already doing this, a lot. So, it was kind of just like, "Oh, it ran on both sides of the family, double zap." So, you know,
That
um,
validation, and yeah,
yeah.
so my mother, she is definitely a medium. People, she'll have spirit follow her home, and she'll go, "What do I do, Michelle? What do I do?" And all three of my children do have different forms of it, and of course, they don't talk to me as much. They're adult children now, but growing up, I'd just be fascinating. I said, "Tell me more. Tell me more." And my youngest is going to be more like myself, where she
Mm,
can hear them and talk to them and feel that energy. My middle child, he can see whenever, between in the middle of the evening, he can actually see spirits and like children come and visit him. And I asked him, I said, or I told him, I said, why don't you ask them what they want? He's going, I'm not going to do that. I don't mind them visiting. And
yeah.
then yeah, so they're accepting of what they have. They may not be using it professionally, but I think they use it on a daily basis.
I do have a question for you. Growing up in the South, you talked about
Right.
the Bible Belt and stuff, and, I grew up Roman Catholic, so, like, there's a lot more most of my clients are Roman Catholic because it is
Right.
more accepted, but I know, in the Bible Belt, it isn't as, like, it's like, "Oh, you're bad if you open up to that." So, how did you deal with that kind of judgment, knowing that
You
that
know,
would be judged?
right, and unfortunately, I became an introvert, so I kinda closed down a little bit, but I still would speak to spirit, and, Jesus was my best friend. I would talk to
Mhm.
him all the time, and I looked at it from a different perspective where a minister to me is channeling spirit
Right,
whenever they're ministering, and
right.
and I would find it's very interesting because the divine spirit, whatever you call it, would send people for me or with me. And so I felt really accepted at that point. And when I figured out I need to see what is going on, I want to really connect with this and embrace it. I found another psychic medium. And that's where things started happening. And I actually went to my church and my minister, she said, if you are afraid of it, just tell them to go away. And so I was very surprised at how accepting some church members were of it.
Oh, so you found that there were some church members
Yes.
that were accepting of it.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
great. I always tell people that come to see me that are Christian or Catholic or have some concerns. I said, "You know what? There definitely are people in this industry that are, just like there are bad lawyers and doctors, corrupt,
Exactly.
politicians, whatever. But if I'm on the right side of the line, if I'm connected to my higher power, God, whoever that person calls God,
Mhm.
um, I was like, "Well, you came to me and you were afraid. You came to me and you didn't believe in life after death. You came to me and you didn't believe in God. Now you have got this evidence that the other side exists, and now you have peace of mind. You believe in God again. You have faith. You have hope. Do you think that a negative force would want you to have hope and faith again and be away from fear? Like, no, this does
Yeah,
a negative situation wouldn't want you to have more peace. Definitely
absolutely.
not. Right. And that's how I
Absolutely.
try to explain it to people.
And I also think it's in the intention. So if somebody is getting in that lower energy and kind of bringing down their energy and kind of depressed, they're going to feel like there's evil forces at hand for them.
Right.
So they may feel that way even, and so, just talking to other people and just getting that energy up and uplifting, because everybody goes through a depression one time or the other. But sometimes spirit will come in, and that's when you are actually listening the most sometimes. And spirit will draw you in and make you a believer
Mhm.
sometimes of what is actually out there. And, unfortunately, you have to be shaken sometimes.
Shaken and
And
stirred.
that's
Yeah, right.
exactly that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I have a comment here from
Oh,
Henry. I know Henry, and he studied Edgar Casey for a very long time, like I think like 50 years. And
wow.
he's saying Casey encouraged discussions between parents and children about seeing deceased, allowing them to fully express what they are observing and hearing. So that's nice,
Absolutely.
nice to
That's
hear.
wonderful. It is very good. And I think the more education that's out there and the more that the conversations take place, I think people will accept it.
Mhm.
Because I still get comments on Facebook sometimes that are not really nice.
Oh
But of
yeah.
course, it's social media. But,
Yeah.
I think if we plant the seeds along the way, more people will open up and say, these kids will be okay to be their unique selves spiritually.
Well, think about it. We I mean, I didn't grow up with any mediums on television or psychic,
Oh,
I mean,
right.
nothing. John Edward was the first one that kinda came along in the 2000s, early 2000s. So, there was nobody out there for really me to learn this from. It's kind of like I had to kinda go on it myself, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And yeah, people I've come to have thick skin after many years of people
Mhm.
just being like, "Oh, it's cold reading, it's this, it's that." There's people that are gonna come online at all times and not believe that this exists, and I'm done trying to convince people, you
Well,
know?
yeah, and everybody is on their own journey, so they're gonna
Yeah,
believe what they believe in,
that's
and you
right.
can't really convince them because I'm not on a certain journey and they are as well, and so I don't want them to judge me, and I don't judge them. So I just feel like, it's okay, that's where you are, but I'm not going to debate with you.
So are you getting comments on social media, about, from a Christian perspective or just from, like, just what kinda comments are you talking
Yes,
about?
it is. It's mainly a lot of Christians who are,
Mhm,
giving me verses. And I
mhm.
really and I'm thinking, they really don't know me, because I am a Christian.
Right, right.
And so, but I just leave it at that. They don't really understand. And I'm thinking that's okay. They need to say whatever they need to say. And learn from that.
Yeah, it's nice to know that you are a Christian, and I am as well. So
Yes,
it's
yes.
like, you're but what I don't like is, the judgment of the ability because people prophesize, right? They come in
Oh,
they
right.
right, so
Right.
where does that come from? And it's like, the gift of the Holy Spirit and all this stuff. It's like people have God-given intuition. That's the bottom line. Everybody
Right.
has it. We're not special. I'm not special. I just, you could go out. I could go and play basketball, but I'm not going to be Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? But I could throw a
Yeah.
basketball. It's
Right.
just people have different degrees of it and they can learn to refine it. Everybody has their own unique gift. And that's, I have an intuitive development course too. And everybody, it's not like, I tell people you can't just say, "Oh, I want to become a medium or I want to become an empath or I want to be an animal communicator." It's like you have to find out what gift you have,
Mhm.
take that gift and sharpen it like a pencil. It's like you have a
Absolutely.
God-given gift, you know.
Right. Oh, agreed.
So
And it's so exciting whenever it comes to play and you know what you're strong in. It's like, "Oh, I finally found myself." And
right.
you and you know where I found what really helped me was yoga and meditation.
Which I don't want to do because it's too slow, but I can't sit still. But yeah, that would probably help me too if I did some of that. So congratulations that I like restorative yoga now. I like
Oh, right.
restorative yoga. That's nice.
Oh, gotcha. Yes.
Where you could
Yes.
kind of like, I'm kind of more of the
Nudge.
high energy. So
I got you.
it's hard
Yes.
to sit
Yes.
still. Well, I could go on and talk shop with you for about 5 hours if I need to.
I know everybody
But
get two psychic mediums together and we'll
yeah,
talk all day.
we'll talk all day. But
That's right.
we need to take a music break and bring
Okay.
Jacob and Mark back on, and then I want to
Sounds
talk
great.
about your book and how people could get your book. And also, I want to invite the audience. You guys have questions for us. You guys have questions about your children for Michelle.
Mhm.
Like you want to ask them, hey, my kid, has these dreams, or my kid is seeing this. Is this normal? Please feel free to ask any questions. And once we get back, we will be sure to take your questions and comments. And thank you, Joanne, for your amazing comment. That's so nice. I always say I'm just the messenger. So I appreciate that. So thanks, Michelle. Unless do you want to stay on the stream so you can watch Jacob and Mark with me? Would you like
Oh,
to stay on?
absolutely. That'd be
Awesome.
fantastic.
I'll keep you on and not backstage. So we're going to bring these guys on and we're going to put them in the spotlight and we're just going to stay over here. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. How you guys feeling?
Feeling good. Feeling a little bit cooler now. We're letting the attic cool off a little bit.
You got the AC on a little bit?
Nope,
Just a fan.
not even.
So how you cooling
It
down then?
interferes with the.
Just the windows are open.
Oh, okay. Fresh air.
Yeah.
All righty. We're
It's
gonna
nice temperature outside.
we are going to mute ourselves. I will mute, and then I'll bring you guys up. Let me see where I'm at here. I'll put you up, Jacob, real quick, and you guys could go. And what song are you going to play next tonight?
This is another song off Hope, and this one is called Chill Song, and I believe I played it on here before. It's a more upbeat one with kind of a little bit of a groove to it, so we're gonna pick it up a little bit.
Awesome. We'd love the groove. Sounds good.
Cool.
All right.
Go for it.
All right.
Whatever pocket you want, man.
All right.
Well, I didn't want that to end. Didn't want that to end. I
That one
was
was a little bit shorter of a song, but I could have kept going. But I don't want to take up all your guys' times.
and now look at people are loving it. Look at this. Look at everybody's loving it. So
Well,
yeah,
thank you.
I just want to tell you guys, remind everybody if you just came on the stream and you want to hear more of Jacob and Mark, just go on your iPhone or your Android or whatever. Download the app, Insight Timer. It's free. Create an account. You could do like thousands of meditations. They're going to be on live 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Sunday. Usually when they're on this show, usually the Sunday after, they are on live on Insight Timer. And also, we're going to pull some scarcity in here real quick. You need to get that album if you want the vintage CD style artwork double disc. You want to own that, which I do. Please keep one aside for me. I will come by your house and get it because I'm not too far away. So put it in your mailbox. I'll Venmo you. Give me the. I want to have one of those. I still have a CD player. So yeah, they only have 30 left, guys. So yes, you can get their music on iTunes and online and Spotify, whatever. But if you want one of these CDs to support them, I would urge you to go on jacobcolepercussion.com or just put it in the chat. They can always message you later after the show that you'd like one of those last 30 copies. Well, 29 now.
Yeah, there might even be less. There might be like 27. So.
Oh, really? Just right now?
Yeah,
Just
30 was. I was rounding up with 30. I think it's really more like 26.
We'll do an exact count at the beginning.
It's
Yeah, do
definitely
exact count.
It's limited. That's for sure.
Let's see what Paula has to say. Wow, she's got a lot to say. Nice melody, relaxing. My dad passed in hospital when I was 12. That evening, he came to my room, sat on my bed, and woke me so he could say goodbye and explain everything that was going to happen and what he needed from me. He explained my mom and brother were going to have to be medicated and he needed me to hold it together. Everything happened exactly as he said. My family on my mom's side was crazy gifted and I freaked everyone out daily as I am a child. I always knew when the phone was going probably to ring. Awesome. So she was reminiscing about all this when you guys were playing that song.
Cool. Wherever it brings you, right?
Absolutely.
Wherever it brings to you.
Awesome. Well, we will be hearing one more song from you guys before we close out the night. So I'll let you guys take a break and I will talk to Michelle for a little bit.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Michelle.
Hi again.
Such talent. Hello, hello. I wish I could do that. I do want to answer Kim's question.
Sure.
Because I was really being drawn to her. And you know how spirit does. It's like,
Yes.
So while I was reading that, and I don't know what, 11 other characteristics that your child has, but what really came, and I'm getting validated that it's a lot of premonition time. So he's going to really start listening to premonitions and it's going to scare him a little bit. So he may need the support. So whenever he does see something a little scary, he may need to talk about it. He may need to draw it so that he can deal with it in those emotions. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah. And I'm going to read it so the people that are just listening via
yes.
audio
Okay.
can hear. Kim had a question. She was just told by a medium that her son speaks to, I'll just read it. I was told by a medium that my son speaks to me through my great grandmother. I was very close to her and she passed on the same date that my son was born years later. He is definitely an old soul and very wise since he was just a little guy. He also has so many traits that she carried with her. What signs should he or myself look for other than the number 11, which I see often?
Oh, I see. I misread that. But what I really got was he's going to have those premonitions. Okay. And that's what I was being pulled to. So I see what you mean that the grandmother did the number 11, but I felt like I needed to say that about his characteristics of being an intuitive.
Yeah. And what I'm getting on this, Kim, is I feel like when she passed, she was then assigned to watch over him when he was born. And I feel like there's a direct connection between the two of them. I feel like she's knows him just as well as she would have known him if she were alive. And he's just as close to her in his heart. So I feel like she's going to be definitely sending messages to him. I feel like he's very so much the gift that I'm feeling for him, that I'm feeling is strong, is a gift of prophecy I'm seeing with him.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Psychic ability with him. I'm not so much seeing him like giving messages
Mhm.
from loved ones. I'm seeing his eyes being like very piercing. Like you could just
Absolutely.
like see through people, right? So I am seeing like this gift of getting flashes and stuff like that, that I'm feeling he can see, but like in a very clairvoyant way.
Mhm.
If that makes sense to you. But that's just what I'm getting for him. And you've been around Connection Beyond. You've been listening to us. You've been around for years, so I'm sure that you are very, very empathetic toward him and compassionate. I don't have any worries that you're not going to be parenting him correctly.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. And while you were talking too, I think that you're going to be shown birds. I don't know why, but birds.
Oh, okay. So, all
I love
right.
it.
I'm going to give you a chance.
Hello.
Can you just be a little quiet for me while I finish the interview?
Yes.
Okay.
I will sign people out.
Okay. Well, we're not ready yet. Okay.
I can't even hear anybody right now.
Okay. Well, come on back in about 5 minutes. Why don't you sit on the couch? Why don't you go sit on the couch?
I'll just be in.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. There
That's
you
not
go.
good.
We can see you perfectly.
See you perfectly. So Henry said, is Michelle experiencing a recent thinning of the veil where communication is becoming easier with her in spirit?
And yes, and I think it not only for myself, but I think for others, because I think there was an energy shift during COVID. And so I definitely feel like there is a thinning of the veil because more people are seeing things, they're feeling things, and they're really questioning their own spirituality. So I think, yes, I think there is definitely a thinning of the veil, and it is easier to communicate. I agree totally.
Awesome. Carol has a question. My granddaughter sees spirits and knows their names when you show her pictures of them. That's interesting. Even if they didn't
Awesome.
meet them, that's pretty cool.
That
That's
really
really
is.
cool.
See, kids can be so strong. And it's very interesting too, because a lot of times I think spirit will show what they used to look like to them. That's why they can see the apparitions. And then as they get older, because we can feel more as we get older and we understand it, they don't have to show us that they're apparitions anymore.
Exactly. So when they're between up to age 3, sometimes they do come to them visually
Yes.
because they
Yeah.
don't have the words to kind of express that.
Right.
Kim says, that's very cool. I've been seeing so many birds in my bedroom window. Thank you. He just had a
Awesome.
son of his own, and I see his love as hers was always. Oh, so sweet.
Oh, good.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about your book.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So
I don't want to forget about that.
yeah, no worries. So that was definitely spirit led because during COVID and while I was tuning my own psychic abilities, I just felt like I really needed to write the book. That was kind of like my mission in life because, 30 years of being in education, I really got to see some fun things with the kids. When I worked with kids with autism, I was able to telepathically communicate with them. And so when I was doing all the research, I'm going, this is so cool. So I knew how to pull everything together. And the book was mainly to help parents, help light workers train parents how to work with these children and embrace them. But what I'm getting now, a lot of parents are grabbing it and saying, you know what? I don't need a light worker. I can do this myself, which is so good because a family, I think, needs to really to embrace it. Like if we're doing yoga, do yoga with your child, do different activities with your child. That way they know that you're accepting it.
That's a
So
great idea, doing
yeah.
yoga with your child. You want to do
Oh.
yoga together with me? Okay.
It
Yeah.
might slow her down just a little bit.
Well, I think we could use that. That's fine.
But they have so many YouTube videos that really show how to teach children yoga because it's not going to be the same way as what we do it as adults. So a lot of creativity with that. But yeah, so the book is really for parents to really educate themselves, and it has different exercises. And it's almost like everything that I learned along the way as a psychic medium, I kind of brought it to children, how children could embrace different exercises that we do, to practice our mediumship.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like I kind of, for me, just wanted to just keep her free of all that, keep her free of all that. But it's cool because she is mostly like 90% of the time okay. But then, I remember her sitting my parents down and saying, and this was my my stepdad who's in his 80s, like 85, so she wouldn't know his mother, and she said, I feel his.
Wow.
She didn't meet her. Oh wait,
Okay.
she was born, but no, she passed away in her 90s. And she mentioned a very specific cat that was with her. And that was the cat that passed away right after she had passed away and was buried with her. And had, there's no way she would have known that.
Oh,
You know what I
right.
mean? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's what parents need a lot of times to believe it. Because a lot of times, oh yeah, right. And then they actually, bring that evidence and they're going, oh, there is some truth to this. And
Right.
and I think we're taught when a 16-year-old wants to do psychic readings as a profession, a lot of times they're shut down.
Yeah.
And it's like 16-year-olds can work anywhere. And some of them are so, street smart and can teach us some things.
Hmm. Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree. Well, there's something else we have to talk about with you. Oh, so if people want to
Okay.
connect with you, they could go to Michelle Henderson Medium. This is your website. And
Yes.
they could follow
Yes.
you on socials at Michelle Henderson Medium on socials,
Yes.
all the socials. And
Yes.
also they could become a member of your website for free training materials and videos. So
Absolutely.
all you guys have to do is go to michellehendersonmedium.com. You get your book on Amazon, but I'm sure there's a link on your website to get your book
Oh, yes,
also.
of course.
Yeah. So
Yes. Yes. And if they're not too sure about the book, if they want a free chapter, I can send them the first chapter. And it
awesome.
gives the different chapters and what they're all about.
Well, if you have an intuitive child or you're thinking about having parenting an intuitive child, this is the book for you. And once again, you go to Amazon, you could just go on there right now, download it or, order it. Spiritual Nurturing for Intuitive Children. You have a copy you could hold up, right? I remember
Oh,
you showing
yes,
it
I
to
can
me.
hold it. Yes, and I just
love
absolutely
that.
yes.
I love your the cover art. It's
I just wish
beautiful.
I knew her name. Maybe someday Spirit will kind of bring her to me, or maybe she'll email me saying that was me.
Henry has another question. Any comments on indigo children with enhanced immunity, expanded chakras, different DNA?
And yes, and I mean, we know where they're out there, right? And I think they have always been out there. And of course, in the 60s we've talked about it. And I think that these children are going to help us along the way as well, kind of lead the way. But I think they've always been with us. It's just that we don't really acknowledge them. And I think they're going to stick around, and I think it's going to get better.
Awesome. Thank you so much for answering that question. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, this is where you can get Michelle's book. Make sure you follow her on all socials, Michelle Henderson Medium. I really enjoyed having you tonight, Michelle. You have been a breath of fresh air. I'm so glad I
Thank you.
connected with you. I could talk to you for about 3 more hours. So I hope that you will come back on again and talk shop with me, because this has been a big treat for me to be able to talk to somebody else about this stuff.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And what is your daughter's name? One more
Her
time.
name is Maine, like the state of Maine.
Maine. Bye, Maine.
She can't hear
She's
you,
like-
right? No.
She's got her headset on with the.
Well, no, the sound's going through my headphones, so she can't hear
Oh,
you.
of
Yeah.
course. I knew that audience. Really, I was just joking.
But when she comes, I'll have her put the headphones on. You could, because she likes to say goodbye to people on the show. So
Okay.
she'll put her headphones on and you'll be able to say hello.
Right. Right.
All right. Well, stick with me, Michelle. We are going to get some Jacob and Mark back on for our last
Yay.
song of the evening. And hi, guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Very good, very good. Thanks for having us again.
Absolutely. I'm going to put myself on mute. What are you guys playing?
We're gonna play one more song off of Hope. This is on the the second disc of Hope. Hope is, when you get the physical copy, it's 2 CDs. One is the sun, and one is the moon. And this one is off the moon disc called Lunar. So that one is more for nighttime chill out stuff with just strings and handpan. And the solar disc is more me playing drums and percussion over the handpans with full band sounding handpan music. So it's kind of, you get 2 different vibes with the album, which is cool. So this is called Bowie. And
Awesome. As in David?
yeah, I wrote it the day I found out that he died. And I wasn't even like necessarily a fan of his. I don't have anything against his music, but it just kind of it came to me that day, and so I named it Bowie. And it's a nice.
It seemed like whatever you wrote was like, even though you didn't know anything about David Bowie, it was an affirmation of like some type of intuitive ability that you have, because I just was hearing all this like string stuff that was on David Bowie recordings, like namely Hunky Dory, but that's like
I might have been channeling stuff I didn't even know.
But I mean other albums too, yeah.
But Mark does a really good job with this, and on the album Mark is on it, and my dad is on this song,
Thanks,
Upright Bass. So you get the duo version now of Bowie.
Yeah,
That's
we did
awesome.
this for Tiny Desk too.
Yeah.
Great.
This will be a unique, tight, kickback version, kind of.
Yeah.
Before I started trying to sing like David Bowie on it.
Yeah.
I'm not
That's
kidding,
great.
but I'm not going to do that.
Did you know that my birthday and David Bowie's birthday are the same day?
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Yes, we're both born on the same day.
Interesting.
Oh, it's interesting. So I'm gonna mute you guys and go for it.
All right.
Cool. Sure.
No, 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 no. Just can't end. No, no, no.
That was a long one. Sorry.
I
Oh
felt
my
like
God, don't be
half game
sorry.
of disc golf there.
What, Mark?
Don't.
I just said that it felt like a half a game, like a half a course of disc golf.
What?
And, unless you play disc golf,
I've never played disc golf, so I don't know what it feels like to play half.
It's
a course
amazing.
of it. Oh, okay.
it's one of those. It's a good sport for intuitive people.
Disc golf?
Yeah,
I think it's like frisbee golf,
I mean,
right?
They actually have a lot of frisbee. Yeah, it's called disc golf though, but they
Okay.
use frisbees. But there's you could just YouTube best disc golf. Disc golfer,
That's
and
a
you'll
word.
probably see a video of a guy he just is nailing these holes in ones. They're pretty cool. I mean, where the disc golf courses are that are so interesting too, because they're usually on military, like land that's like where there's a dam, or there's state forest. There's tons of them. I mean, this is a huge thing. This is a big thing out like I think in California with like the jazz fusion and the jam musicians. I know we never.
And
went
that's
out.
how this song made you feel?
I just felt like it was like a game of disc golf, man.
All right.
Like, it was like we're kind of like
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Michelle,
which means that that was difficult for me. That's what that meant. Because I suck at disc golf.
Michelle, you're gonna come with me. We're gonna get together for some intuitive disc golf.
Hey, let's do it.
No, there's
Absolutely.
different discs for different. It's just like regular golf, but with discs, basically like frisbee. So if you're good with that, but they're more like the discus shape, and so you need to use a combination of an intuition, kind of experience, planning, and also a lot of times you're doing a course for the first time, and there's forest, so you have to arc these things around trees.
Oh my God.
I was going to say, no trees are harmed, are they?
And you could look. I hope not. No, the actual like the holes are made out of metal, and they're like these things that have like a chain link type of surrounding, and like a basket. It's basically like a basket that you throw the disc in. Once you see it, you're gonna go, I want to do this. And it
Okay.
does help to have individual discs for like they have ones that lean to the right. They have ones that can go above the what do they call them? The winds, like, that the
Wind?
hawks use, and the birds use. I forget what.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Well, I think for some of my students, I'm going to be having a community meetup, and I'm like, Mark told me this is. Hold on, I gotta.
It's something natural with like my right arm being. And I used to play ultimate frisbee when I went to string quartet camp, and to me, I had like these psychic experiences with the other guys in the quartet, because after we would rehearse music for 3 or 4 hours when we were 16 years old, and it was just because the guy that put this all together, Charles Castleman, knew that it was good for people to do this. Not necessarily that was his forte. He was a great concert violinist, and he had people come from all over the world to Bucknell University, which is a great place in Pennsylvania for ultimate frisbee. Because it's kind of like set right in the middle of this valley where they have these, and I was trying to describe them. They're natural, like where the winds kind of wafted up. So somebody would throw these. There were 174 grams, I think, or 160 grams, like the regular ultimate frisbee discs, which are like a big, heavy frisbee. And then one of us would run, and we would know where to go. We'd read the other guy's mind, and we would basically be able to beat 8 people with 3 people. It was
So it's
really
kind of
cool.
like a Harry Potter sort of thing.
And then I would hit my second wind. I never knew what a second wind was, and after that, my knee was injured the next year. So disc golf became the new way to go. And it was cool because I lived in Rochester. I went to the Eastman School of Music, so one of Steve Gadd's students, Joe, would take me out to this beautiful place right near Wegmans called Pittsford. This is where the super Wegmans that Danny Wegman built,
Yes.
the Titanic of Wegmans,
Right.
right? And was surrounded by all this beautiful, like it's kind of like golf course, but in the woods. You know what I mean? It's like it's a subculture. You guys it's gonna blow your minds.
So you never know what you may learn.
That's right. That's right. All right. We have to wrap it up.
You're absolutely right. Thank
Yes.
you for
Thank you.
humoring me.
Thank you. We appreciate you, Mark. Thank you so much.
We appreciate you, and I appreciate Jacob.
Thanks for having us.
Yep.
It's the
Main's gonna do what she used to do. If you guys remember, she tells everybody goodbye on the stream. So if you guys want to play a little bit of like little background music, you could say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah. Can I stick in?
Yes.
You can play us out, Mark.
Yep, don't touch the mic.
Okay, everyone.
Just on my lap. Don't touch the mic.
So, before I continue everything else, my name is Maine, and before we send people out, you gotta tell me in the chat what's the capital of Maine.
What's the capital of Maine?
Yeah.
Does anybody know this?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say. Okay, I don't think any of the adults know.
Yeah. I don't think any of them know.
No. Okay, so go through the chat.
It's Augusta.
Augusta. Yes.
Of course.
So,
So go ahead, go sign people off with their names like you used to do.
good night, Eileen V. Katasini.
This is the best part.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye, Deborah Isatat. Bye, Paula Lily Humphreys.
Oh my God, you got that one right.
Yeah.
Bye, Kim Gililino Swisher. Hold on. Bye, Carol Shander Jackson. And by Barney Emery. By Joanne Yeckley Huffstickler.
What about Henry?
Henry Blake, Tim Petto, Lori Darling, Mary O'Neill Jerome. So I think that's all.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
everybody. I think I signed everybody out.
Thank you. We'll see you next week. Bye,
Bye.
guys. Thank
Can I
you.
press end?
Press the button.